Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and this is Carrie and Inaba from Dancing with the Stars. Now, I don't know that much about this woman. I have watched Dancing with the Stars in the past. It's been a while, but we can do some general things here. Let's see. We don't have a rising. We don't have a birth time for her. She's a sun in Capricorn, like myself. She is a moon in Pisces, potentially. Could be a moon in Aries, but it looks like it's not really going to matter, generally speaking. So we'll just say she's a moon in Pisces, sun in Capricorn, and let's go from there. Let's start with that moon. Let's start with that moon in Pisces and the sun in Capricorn. You know, when you think of Capricorn, you don't think of dancing and art and musical ability and things of that nature. But I'm going to make sense out of this here. First of all, the sun there in Capricorn, it's at 14 degrees, so it's in that second decan, which could correlate to Taurus. And by the way, all of these degrees mean something, so we could get into that in future videos as well. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but just based on that, we can see that this Capricorn has Taurus influence. And oftentimes you can see that with Capricorn where they can be more creative, particularly around money and luxury because of that Taurus earth influence. But then we have that moon in Pisces, and the moon in Pisces, of course, would be ruled by Neptune. And Neptune would be the higher octave of Venus. So this is going to be where we see this musical influence in her life for sure. But here's the thing. I don't know her past, but as it is right now, she's not dancing. She's not singing. She is, she's a judge. She's a critic. Capricorn, Saturn, the judge. We see this moon. It's conjunct Saturn in Aries. So definitely we see the ability to critique and judge with these placements here, particularly, as I said, the sun in Capricorn, in Earth, Mercury's in Capricorn. Of course, Earth has naturally within it the sign Virgo that is ruled by Mercury, which would be very critical. So we have Saturn, Capricorn, the judge, Mercury, the critique, the critiquer, and then this moon here is conjunct that Saturn, and the moon may be in Aries, which we'll come back to. But either way, it's probably close to Pisces, somewhere in the middle there as well. But besides all that, we can move along. We can say, well, where's the ruler of Pisces? And it's here in Scorpio, conjunct Venus. Venus is in Sagittarius. So we see this Venus, we see this combination here of Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter. And of course, down here, Jupiter is squaring, almost exactly squaring that Venus, and then would be squaring that Neptune as well. So we definitely see the musical, artistic ability here with that combination. But that's all kind of like behind the scenes. You know, like maybe some of her past, maybe what she enjoys, obviously doing something like this. And, you know, without looking at without seeing the rising, we see what we see on the outside is this, again, back to this sun in Capricorn. She's the one that knows. She's the judge. She's the boss on the show. You know, these judges, they're essentially the boss of the show. And we see Saturn there in a Mars-ruled sign. We see Mars here in Aquarius in a Saturn-ruled sign. And you get that when you see her personality. She is, she's not the Pisces type in the sense that she's very sensitive and is going to be somebody who thinks before they speak, about hurting people's feelings and stuff like that. She's more out there in the open, tell you what you need to hear. And we even see that with the Mars in Aquarius being ruled by Saturn and Uranus. Uranus can be like that. And what do you know? Mars is almost in the same degree as Uranus. There it's in an inconjunct. So she may have some issues with that. Like, do I want to say this? Should I have said that? When she's just blurting things out randomly, because that's what she's on a time. She might be on a time schedule, especially with a show like that. You don't have time to think. You got to say it. You got to say it now. And that you see that here, that can give her a lot of pause in her, and maybe some overthinking in her personal life after the show is over. Like, maybe I didn't want to say that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. We can look at some of the other things involved, because it is a dancing show. She does have Mars in a square to Neptune. This could be someone who maybe her dancing ambitions or her artistic ambitions wouldn't have been the easiest to accomplish in her life, which is probably why she's ended up where she is as a judge. Oftentimes people like that do end up being teachers, critiquers, people that are looking at the people coming up and helping them, etc. Not as a bad thing, but it's just in their nature. They're good at it. In a sense that they're good at critiquing others, and they're helping. In a sense, they're helping other people get better at their craft. She does have a south node in Scorpio. Again, we could say coming from a very competitive background, Scorpio. Maybe coming from a position of being in a position of privilege around money to do what she does, especially when she's young. You almost, to be a really good dancer or anything of the like, you have to have had some type of privilege, so you can spend the time and not worry. You can spend the time on your art and not worry about money. And you can see Mars is also making a square to that node, almost exactly, squaring the nodes. And you can see there's some need to really wait, sorry, I apologize, I messed that up. The Mars is in Libra, or the south node is in Libra, but the Mars is trining that position. So there still is that coming from a competitive background, with Mars touching that node with at such an angle. You can see that the Mars is also almost in the same degree as the moon, if that's the moon position. So very competitive person. There could be some lessons regarding relationships and diplomacy. But with that Mars there in Aquarius trining that south node, this would have been a person who actually has some understanding of diplomacy, and perhaps when to give positive feedback versus harsher negative feedback, or more forthright feedback with that north node in Aries. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.